So do you practice yourself? Your parents?
No, not anymore.
No.
They used to until my sister and I went to high school.
Mhm.
And then my sister and I were both like, hey, we're not Catholic. We don't believe in this stuff anymore.
But do you believe in God?
Nope.
So do you believe that something's going to happen after you die?
I don't know.
Like, are you held accountable for your actions?
I don't know.
No?
So if I were to like, it's funny because like I don't, like I'm not an atheist. Like I believe everybody has some sort of belief.
But do you believe like in a higher power? Do you believe like the Big Bang Theory, all this happened just by accident? Here we are
like the Big Bang Theory is a scientific thing.
Yeah.
So like I believe in that. But like if I were to subscribe to a specific belief system, it would probably be somewhere in the combination of paganism and Buddhism.
Okay.
Primarily because I really enjoyed the idea of being one within nature and one like and using what's around you.
But paganism, isn't that like worshiping the devil?
No, it is not.
A lot of people think that.
A lot of people do, but it is a wild misconception.
Like witches and warlocks and shit like that.
Yeah, so that's an entirely witches are a thing. There's paganism, there's Wicca, and there's witchcraft. And so like I'm somewhere between paganism and Wicca, because I do practice with like
this might affect your dating life, by the way.
Oh, I don't care. Hi, how's it going?
So you believe like in spells and shit?
Yeah.
Do you know about Hollywood? Okay, we'll go on.
Maybe.
Next thing I was going to say, do you know the thing about dolphins?
I believe in spells so much as like, are they fun to put together, and are they a way of me actively interacting with the things that I would like to happen? So like, you know how people are like manifesting and putting things out in the universe? While I'm aware that a lot of spells and crystals are all just like some psychosomatic nonsense, the idea that like that will help me focus on those things is interesting to me. And I think it helps.
You know, give us an example of what you're saying.
So for instance, I will, on the 1st of every month, I will take a handful of cinnamon and I will blow that cinnamon through my doorway. And now what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to bring forth an abundance, both in love and in wealth. And I was like, yeah, sure. I love being with people. I love more money.
But you believe that works?
No.
Okay.
But
the mindset
is there. And I'm like, yeah, if I'm going to do this, then I might as well fully commit to it. So yeah, I'm going to talk to my friends. Yeah, I'm going to bust my butt doing a whole bunch of different jobs. Like, of course. Ideally.
But do you believe like in witchcraft where you can actually do stuff on people and whatever, or make things happen or manipulate people and that type of shit? Like that exists, like black magic. Like
yeah.
People believe in that, right? Like that voodoo shit.
I believe in like energies. So like Reiki kind of idea is more of along the lines of what I would believe in.
Wow. So you went from being baptized
right?
to believing that Jesus is God's son.
Yep.
And that he came to earth and sacrificed his life for all your sins.
Yep.
To forget all that completely.
That we need to be like good to the earth and the earth will treat us
positively
back.
You're either a product of your environment or you're not, and she's definitely not. She just grew out of it.
No, but she also is a product of it, right? Because what happens is that I find that a lot of the religions, and I respect all of them, I truly do. I do believe that the core value that people have overlooked is God basically says, if you love me, love my creation.
Yeah, don't be a garbage person.
Yeah, that's it.
Be a good person.
So whether that means that in order for you to accomplish that, you need to go to church every Sunday, whether it means you're Jewish, you got to pray 3 times a day, whether you're Muslim, you pray 5 times a day, whatever can generate that end result of you affirming that, yes, I love you, God, so for that reason, I will love your creation, right?
Yeah.
So I do believe in all that. Where I feel the disconnect is, and especially with the youth, is they force it down your throat. And they kind of give you this all or nothing that if you don't, you're burning in hell. And that's that. And it's like, wait a minute here. Like, I can be a good person. I can believe in God. I might not want to follow all of your rituals and traditions, But I don't believe that because of that, I'm going to burn in hell, because a lot of these traditions are man-made.
Yeah.
And they were changed over the years. So one thing that a lot of Catholic people don't even know when I talk to them, this whole concept of priests not being allowed to marry, that's fucking man-made.
Yeah.
Yep. And do you know why they did that? Do you guys know why?
No way.
Because of money. Back in the day, the average amount of children a priest would have was 12 to 14 fucking kids.
Oh.
And the church had to support them. So it became too costly.
And then they renamed them pastors.
So one of the greatest popes that I love is Pope John Paul II.
Yep,
and this guy was amazing. And
he was pretty good.
He said that he wanted to reverse this, but he said it will take him 25 to 30 years to be able to reverse in the Vatican about this whole thing about priests not being allowed to marry. It's human nature to want to be intimate and to procreate. You can't prevent that. And if you fucking close that door, it's going to open up these other fucking like devil doors of child molestation and nuns being fucking raped and all that. You can't stop a man from the urge of sex. And it's not even just stop. It's a matter of saying that it's a God's rule. No, it's not. And it makes no sense. Why would God make...
I don't remember seeing anywhere in the Bible that like priests weren't allowed.
So they did that, right? So they added that in, right? Because when it came to the cost of supporting priests, it just got way too expensive, right? So I believe with religions, the minute that you are setting these rules, that especially kids today, they're smart, man.
Yep.
And they're like, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Like, this is bullshit. Why is Christmas in fucking December? Jesus Christ wasn't born then. Jesus Christ he was born in the spring.
Yep.
And that
was like scientifically proven a few years back too.
And that obviously affected the harvest with farmers. So I was like, well, fuck that.
Well, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but July and August aren't actual months. They were named after, I think, like Greek people, like Julius and Augusto or something.
Correct.
And if you take that timeline and you minus 2 months from us, right, that would put you in what? October, right? Say spring area, kind of maybe back then in that day. So maybe, you get what I'm saying? Minus the 2 months. Yeah, he could have been more. He probably.
Well, yeah. So what they did is like astrologers.
That's
it
crazy.
Astronomers is the right word there. They were like, okay, like the North Star is the thing that the shepherds supposedly followed in order to find Jesus and Mary and Bethlehem. But in order for the shepherds to have followed that and lead them to Bethlehem, it would have had to be in this position in the sky. Well, in order for it to have been in this position in the sky, it would have had to be within these months. And it was like early summer, late spring.
Well, keep one thing in mind. The Gregorian calendar is not perfect.
No.
That's why we have extra days in February, right? It fucks things up when you follow the cycle with the sun. So the Islamic calendar is based on moon cycles, which are perfect. The moon cycles are always the same, right? So all of this thing about time and all that, again, I find that when it comes to all of these religions, the area that they messed up is when they allowed human beings to come in and start altering things and giving importance to church, like the dogma that the only way you can connect with God is through the church. Says who?
Yeah.
And how is a human being able to tell you that whatever sin you may have committed, you're now forgiven? Give me a break. I'm sorry, you go for confession and it's like, oh, do this many Hail Marys and do this and God's forgiven you, child. What? Really? Like, do you have an email confirmation from God that says this? Who's telling you this stuff, right? So they simplified
if that's what
everything.
you need to believe in order to be a good person, then sure, whatever.
But if you are able to believe that concept and you're brainwashed enough to believe that a human being can tell you you're forgiven, he's a sinner himself.
Yeah.
How is he able to tell you? That's why even when it comes to the judicial system, I find that when it comes to judges, like people who become judges should have to go through the most scrutiny possible because you're fucking laying down the law and you better have a perfect fucking track record to be able to make a judgment on something. So the same thing goes with priests. Like, you do commit sins. Yeah, I do. So how can you tell me that my sin's forgiven? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
The concept behind that. So I understand that, especially with technology today, and you're able to get so much more information out there, if the people who are preaching these religions were to keep it simple, instead of kind of giving themselves so much importance and that whole boogeyman thing that if you don't follow what I'm going to say, you're going to burn in hell. Blah. No, why can't you convince me in a better way to say
why
that
does there have
be
to be
good?
Negative reinforcements.
Yeah.
Why can't there be positive reinforcements?
Like you said about the thing about that sex between a husband and wife is a sin.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
It's literally what got like Adam and Eve kicked out of the Garden of Eden.
See, but that is
which is also such a weird story and like
but that's
so many
that's a
versions.
Catholic version of that, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because for us, for Muslims, it's completely
different.
For
not.
the people that believe in the aliens too, I'm not lying. That's different. Like my dad taught us that we lived on Mars. Okay, and that Mars shit is real. So they just confirmed.
What Mars shit is real? You can't just make a statement like that.
From our group chat. So NASA came out and NASA said
NASA.
They were able to make life on Mars. So there's plants. There's a plant on Mars essentially.
A plant?
Yeah, because they have found a crater in which there was scientific evidence of the existence of water at some point.
And growing up, before even that was discovered years ago, growing up, my dad always told me humans used to live on Mars, but like what humans do, we destroy everything we touched. And a nuclear war eventually happened, and Adam and Eve were the last humans on Mars that made it to an escape pod.
Naked.
That came to They came to Earth.
Yeah.
Crashed in Earth, and that was the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
I don't believe that.
That's what my dad taught me growing up until I was about 12.
Story, and I won't doubt it. But
and I got beat up.
You got beat up because you didn't believe it?
I got picked on and beat up for that because I genuinely, as a child,
believe that.
You want to talk about putting things in kids' head?
Then you should follow Scientology because that's pretty much similar.
I believe in aliens. 100p. That's already came out and during COVID and said, yes, they're real.
Okay, I have a question, and I'm a little embarrassed to ask because I don't really know information about this. So this is why I'm asking. Okay. Has anyone like dug deep into Mars, like dug into the grounds of Mars?
Like with
Listen, so basically. No,
I mean like really deep. Like
no, they haven't done like a core drill.
No, because, so NASA, like, they believe NASA is saying that they've sent a rover. To Mars. It's a fucking remote control car.
Okay, do you know why though?
Why they sent it?
Yeah, why are they digging?
I don't believe they sent anything.
Okay.
That's my view.
So I just want to know because like here on Earth, people like what are the celebrities or whoever, the guy who owns Facebook?
Elon Musk.
Him too. All of those celebrities, whatever. They're digging underground and they're making like homes underground. Yeah.
Bunkers.
So who's to say they don't have that on Mars?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have to believe in the whole concept that they're able to send a remote control car millions and millions and millions of miles away. And
whether they do or they don't, like...
I mean, there's more to it than that. I mean, then you have to get the theory about the moon. If they've been to the moon 50 years ago, why haven't they gone ever since? Right? So the whole talk about how we got to this thing about Mars was on the religion side of things. I was just, very curious about, you said that you went to Catholic school, right? And then now, so is it also your sister as well whose views has changed?
Yep.
Or no? So your whole family?
Yeah. So my mom and dad, like, they're still, from what I understand, they're still Catholic. They're not practicing because they don't go to mass or anything like that.
Okay.
From what I understand, they still believe in it. We don't really talk about it anymore, primarily because my sister is very vocal in her dislike.
Okay.
And
so how do your relatives take that? Do they like say stuff to you?
Oh, they don't care.
They don't. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a very like, we don't care. We don't judge. You're just like, all right, you do you.
Yeah, that's cool. I also find that a lot of people just do, with any one of these religions, they just do the bare basics.
Yeah.
Like the Sunday church thing, Easter, Christmas, and that's about it, right? When it comes to the other stuff, it's, it's not as important.
So like what I will do, which is kind of funny, but like this past December, I celebrated the solstice because that's part of the paganism and everything. And then I went home and I celebrated Christmas.
Okay.
But like even Christmas changes from where you are. So most European households will celebrate Christmas on the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Most North Americans will celebrate on the 25th. And so like even that changes from variants, which is really funny to me because like a bunch of my friends were like, oh, let's go do this on the 24th and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, guys, I got family
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's plan for the 25th. It's
Yeah.
like, things are open. We're good to go. And they're like, but I have family things. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird that you have family things on the 25th.
Yeah.
I kind of
Like, oh,
find
right.
that sadly, Christmas is just like a whole, just a
Oh, yeah, it's
consumer-based
Absolutely.
bullshit thing. Santa Claus was created by Coca-Cola and shit like
It
that.
sure was.
Wasn't
And
his uniform?
No, it was his uniform that changed. It wasn't him. He wasn't created by Coca-Cola.
That is true.
His uniform used to be green velvet.
Green.
And then when Coca-Cola came out in 1902, their color was red. So they put him in a red outfit.
Correct.
And then the attraction it worked better. So then everybody made him a red Santa.
Yep.
Way to overlap my knowledge. I wanted to sound smart.
Well,
You are smart.
yeah, they had a huge influence on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all commercialism,
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah. So now when you celebrate Christmas, there's no
Oh, there's
talk
like
of Jesus Christ or any of that kind of stuff. No prayers being done or anything.
Until Pepsi like takes over Jesus and then he's wearing a blue robe.
That was
Maybe.
fly, Melissa. I
that
love
was
that.
great.
Yeah.
That was gold.
If
was
Pepsi
good.
does it, I want a percentage.